Hello, I am Master Photographer Carl Satoff, and I'm going to show you how to place a picture on top of another picture. We have this little doggy up here. This was a dog of a client of ours, and we also have another picture of this little guy. We need to pull this down. I'm in CS5. If you have a higher Photoshop, you may need to do that, but if not, you just need to have a floating panel. We have our move tool selected. You just simply grab it and pull it over and then let go. Now we don't need this anymore, so let's X out of this one. Now it's not a good placement, and it's also too large. So first thing we want to do is make this photograph smaller. So we want to change this into a smart object. If you have a later version of Photoshop, you have the ability to turn this into a smart object. What that does, it allows you to adjust its size multiple times without any degradation of quality. If you do not have that, you pretty much just have a one-shot deal where you shrink it down to the size you want and click OK, and then you pretty much have to leave it there because it has thrown away a lot of information when it shrunk it down. If it is a smart object, it keeps that information and allows you to re-enlarge it again. So you do that by clicking on Layer and Smart Objects and convert to Smart Object. Now you'll notice down here on the layer it changed and added a little icon to it, and that is the smart object thumbnail. That just tells you that this layer is a smart object. The disadvantage to a smart object, there are a lot of filters and things you cannot run on it once you've turned it into a smart object. So what you do is you get it the size you want, then convert it back, then you can run all your filters and make some of your other adjustments that you need to do. So now let's change the size of this. Let's go up to Edit and Free Transform. Now in Transform, if you just simply grab a handle, a corner, and move it down, you can really mess up a picture. That will not work. So we can rectify that situation. So let's do an undo. You can also do that on your keyboard with the Control-Alt-Z. So let's go up to Edit, Free Transform, and you'll notice this little chain link up here. This is the Maintain Aspect Ratio. If you click on it, now when you grab a corner and move it around, it will not change the aspect ratios. It'll only change the dimension or the size of the picture. So let's put it about right there. Let's move it over here. Maybe shrink this down just a tad more and do an OK. That's basically how you do it. Now we need to spruce this up a little bit. So let's come over here to our layer and let's double click over here in this blank area. That will bring up the layer style. All of these are things that you can add to that layer. So let's give it a stroke. Let's do a stroke. We click on that. We really didn't see anything happen. But if we go to the right of that word and click one time, now we have some options just for stroke. All of these will have these options. I highly recommend you go in there and play with those. Now here's why we didn't see anything happen. It's a black stroke and we're on basically a black picture. So let's change the color of that. Let's put that up to, you can go up here and click a color, or you can take a color right out of your photograph. So let's do that. Do an OK, and I want to show you something now. Let's change the size of the stroke and get it up there where we can see it. Now you'll notice the position is defaulted to outside. That will give you a rounded corner on the outside. You may want that, but if you're doing a competition print, you'll want that to be squared or sharp corner. So let's go back up here and change outside to inside, and you'll see that that changed to a square. Now what that did is also take up part of the inside of your picture. That may or may not be a problem. It is not for us because we are going to shrink this back down to around 4. 3 or 4 is a good stroke size. Do an OK. Now let's do one other thing. Double click again. Bring this up. Now let's do a bevel. Bevel and emboss. Let's bring up some options. Let's change the depth. Let's also change the way the light's coming from. If you'll notice on this picture, my main light is coming from the left, so let's change this one to come from the left. We can grab this little thingy right here, move it around. And change the size of the bevel. We can soften it. That stuff's more noticeable when it's larger. And doing okay. I will show you how to rotate, edit, transform, and you'll see if you hold your cursor out a ways from the corner, it turns into a little double bent arrow, and you can just rotate this around however you need to. And there you go. You could put pictures all the way around of this dog. So experiment with this and have fun.